Parents are furious I've gained weight in college. So my parents have invested a lot into my weight cause I've always been a chubby kid and I appreciate what they've done, but I also think it's gotten to a point I feel like it's ridiculous. Since I was 12 my parents have been pinching my stomach and telling me I'm chubby. Even when I was at a normal weight this has been the case, but I understand they just want what's best for me. I've been teetering around the chubby to fat point for about 5 years, but recently gained some weight, maybe 15 pounds. But I've steadily gained weight from ages 15 to 21, and I'm probably currently at the highest weight I've ever been. The thing is I'm also the happiest. I moved out and got into my dream college in a different state. At my college I met a really sweet guy who I now live with and we've been consistently going on dates and cooking for each other for about a year and a half. This has obviously caused some weight gain. I've also stopped going to the gym as much cause I'm nearing my final year and I've been prioritizing my classes. I want to correct my weight, I really do, but it hasn't been a priority and I've only recently started to make changes to my diet and focusing on moving more when I can. I have ADHD so it's difficult to keep focus, so I've tried to simplify my life as much as possible. It's worked pretty well. I've been getting internships and doing well in all my classes and my parents were super proud until recently when I went home during a break. The fallout of my current lifestyle was immeasurable. The moment I stepped out of the airport and my parents saw me, any pride they had in my academic and relationship success dissipated. My mom didn't speak to me almost an entire week except for a couple times during conversation with other family members and if I asked her a direct question. My dad immediately told me if I'm going to stay under their roof I would have to go to the gym mandatorily every day and couldn't miss a single day. I was okay with this until on Thanksgiving Day mid-family dinner with cousins and grandparents he told me to go take a walk. I kinda laughed, but he was serious, and while my family and extended family got to spend the day together talking and celebrating, I walked outside around the neighborhood until he allowed me back inside the house. It was embarrassing. I felt like a child. I understand what I've done to my body is awful. I cried for almost a week at the thought of my new stretch marks and new areas being permanent and keeping me from ever showing my stomach or hips. I know I look monstrous, but I feel like I'm being looked at by my family like some hideous beast instead of their daughter. Towards the end of the break I finally snapped and asked my mom if she was disgusted by me, and she started yelling at me, telling me how I was so ungrateful because her and my dad invested in gym memberships for most of my childhood and Ozempic right after I left for college. I had to stop because it made me so sick I threw up everything I ate for like a week straight. I told her I was very grateful for the help and that I had taken advantage of it before, losing almost 40 pounds during high school, but that I had just fallen off recently and I felt the backlash for this was getting cruel. I brought up my dad humiliating me on holidays. During previous Christmas and Thanksgiving breaks he's also yelled at me while family has been over about putting butter on bread rolls and not watching my weight at the dinner table in front of everyone, and she told me that I just can't take criticism. Something about that statement that I couldn't take criticism awakened something in me. I don't know why, but that statement made me so angry. I don't think I've ever screamed so loudly in my life. I screamed about how it felt no achievement I had was ever good enough if I was fat, how I felt humiliated, how I felt unloved, and to this she simply stared at me and quietly walked away. I later got a text about how I was just narrow-minded and I never saw the ways they did love me and I was so privileged to have grandparents. I don't know how that was relevant, and to be so loved. I feel like nothing I said went through, but I also felt a lot of guilt. My parents clearly just want what's best for me. I am very loved. I know I have great friends and a lot of nice family, but I feel like this doesn't remove some of the cruelty my mom and dad have shown me. But on the other hand, are they really being cruel to me? Others absolutely have it worse. I feel like I can't even trust myself to think clearly or be able to formulate a balanced opinion, so I'm asking anyone who reads this, please snap me back into reality if I'm being ridiculous. Am I the asshole for yelling at my mom or thinking her and my dad have been mean? So AITAH?